This is a trigger warning for the following episode since we speak about mental health, so we will be speaking about some sensitive topics. This is also a disclaimer that we use some dark humour and bad words as well, so if this is not the podcast for you, you can scroll on, but if this sounds good to you, come in. So welcome back to episode 3 of Mental Health and Me with me, Jenna, and this week we have Jordan O'Keefe, who is best known for reaching the finals in Britain's Got Talent. Recently, he posted about his addiction to alcohol, and we've been following his journey on that. So we're going to touch on that a bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for coming, giving
Thanks so much for having me.
some of your Friday night anyway to come and talk to me.
Exactly.
Some sense and some shite. It'll be a bit of crack deep and a bit of crack. Is that okay?
100%. You work away.
Right. So everyone knows you from being on Britain's Got Talent. Yes. I have you on my social media, but I mean, if I didn't even have you on there, I would know of you from that.
Yeah.
What was life like before Britain's Got Talent? Because you were quite young. You were like, say, what were you?
I was 18.
Oh, 18, right.
Life was just like any other sort of teenager in Derry. Like, it was just...
So you were able to go on Britain's Got Talent, so you must have had some confidence.
Oh, I did. Whenever I was younger, I was very, very... Not that I was... I think when I was in my younger years, like when I was a child, I was very, very confident. Like, I would come down and... Never mind whenever Robbie Williams did, was it... Rock DJ, and he came down the boxers and I used to come down and all dancing in front of my aunties and all.
So you're a showman.
Well, I was when I was younger, and then I just don't know, like sometimes you get the confidence knocked out of me. And whenever I got a bit older, I got a wee bit bullied and stuff had happened. And
what age was that?
Around my teenage years, just coming into my teenage years.
Those are really hard years though, and for you to get over that and 100%. Then come out confident with only being 18 as well, going on a show after that.
I was confident going on stage singing. Like, so if you'd have told me to get up and speak in front of people, I could never know.
Right.
Now I can. Then I'm a bit older and just a bit more like I don't really care anymore.
Right.
Whereas when I was younger, it was a bit like. But whenever I got up and sang, I got up and sang in front of nobody.
Right.
I also went in karaoke too. You see, when I was in Spain, I used to go up in karaoke all the time, and I would have been up.
And did your mum and dad be like, "What do you see what our son can do?" Or they like really?
Still do it.
That's what I was going to say.
I don't do it to my face, but they do it behind my back, and then I hear about it and like, please don't be doing that.
No, showing you up.
No, it's trying to back me up all the time. I don't like it.
Did you? Why? That's what mum and daddies are for.
I don't know. I think I don't know. They're very proud of me.
That's amazing. My wee boy's only 8, and every time I take him to training, and like I always say to him, "You're going to make it. You're going to make it," and that's the end. And he's coming on with all these trophies and don't want to go to training. I said, "You're going to make it. Look around now at all these wee boys in World Cup, thousands of fellas." And he's like, I said, "See out of everyone here, you're going to make it."
Yeah.
And I think you need that push behind you, or else.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Especially coming from your parents, but also knowing that. Talent only gets you so far, like, and I can definitely vouch for that. Like, you have to put the work in.
Oh, you
hard work to turn in, and like I would have Enrique, my son, and he's 11 now, and he always says he wanted to be a footballer, but never put the work on.
No.
He'd be all daddy, I want to be a footballer, but he's not playing Fortnite. Like, come on, man.
This is what I mean.
100%, and that's But then again, it might change for him. He might, whenever he's 14, he might go, "I want to be a footballer," and put the work in then. But it just has to happen at some stage. Like, I stopped playing guitar whenever I was quite young. I learnt, and then I stopped. And then I was about 14, I went round to my friend's house, and he had an electric guitar, and he was playing it, and I was like, "I want to do that again." And that's when I started again.
Picked it up again. So, you're 18, you're leaving school, you see a advert for Britain's Got Talent, is that the way it works?
So, no, what happened was, I had auditioned for X Factor a couple of years before. So whenever obviously Owen Quigg went on, it was a whole big thing. And obviously I was a singer. And
How many years after did you go on?
I don't know, I have no idea.
It's a good one.
I think he was like 2008, 2009 maybe.
That was a good one.
Maybe. And then, maybe that's wrong. And then I was in 2013.
Right.
But after, I think it was like the year after that, or maybe 2 years after that, I went down and auditioned in Croke Park. And I was actually standing behind Niall Horan in the queue.
No way.
Swear to God. He was peeking out the guitar. But it was actually a video on YouTube of it. But it's been taken down. But I used to bring, whenever I used to be drinking and partying all the time, I used to bring it up and go, "Oh."
Out of everything that you've done in your life, that's your claim.
That was my claim to fame. Well, I'd seen it whenever I was drinking. You'd be there for hours. It was one of the many things that would have came up. But so I was standing behind him in the crowd, and he got the guitar and played, and then I was like, "I'll have a go." But I was nowhere near as good at that time. He was so confident. Right. And that's confidence is key to everything. If you're playing football, if you're doing anything, you need to be confident in what you're at. When you are, then you sort of project a lot more, especially with singing, you project a lot more. So I went up on audition, didn't get through. Then I went to Liverpool and did Britain's Got Talent the year after, and that didn't happen.
So you already applied for that before?
Yep.
Right, okay.
Again, wasn't good. But I knew myself. Now looking back on it, you're like, no, that didn't work. I think I sang "Oh My God" by Usher You know,
Oh,
who was
right,
ever
okay,
gonna
yeah.
who was ever gonna put that through? Like,
Me, probably. I'm probably the only person.
yes, for
At
me,
Victorian.
no red button for
Aye.
me. But and then I just like got knocked back a couple of times, and then I was just sitting and I seen they were coming to Belfast, and me and my friend Dermot Kelly went up in the car. I was like, we'll just try it and see, and there was nobody there compared to what it was like in Liverpool and Dublin for X Factor. There was
Audition wise.
There was like a tenth, 1/10 of the people that was there. Like, it was madness. Straight on, straight out, sang 2 songs, and I was like, oh, I'll just wait to hear back. And then it was funny. I got a phone call from the girl that worked for Sony Music
Right.
called Leila. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Mona Cherry, her name is, or something like that. She worked for Simon Cowell, and she had seen me
Right.
and asked me to come on. And then when she found out that I'd auditioned through Teams, which is Teams, the people that run the actual show
Right.
for ITV, they're brought on to do the production. So I listened through them. She couldn't put me on, and it was like a
Right.
whole up and down.
So it's kind of like you sign a contract without signing a contract.
But if they can't put G Psycho can't put you on the show, unless so if I had auditioned through Teams, they can't go right. We'll just put him on
Right.
because I never auditioned through them. They have to let them do the process.
Okay. Right.
But they can put people on. They can plant people on the show
Right.
if they want, which happens a lot. Like I've seen people have come on and auditioned, and then not done well, and they've moved them to another place and auditioned again.
Aye.
To get the better reaction. Do you know what I mean?
Aye. Just
For
for
the
crowd, for views and
Yeah.
reactions and stuff.
Yeah. So and that was it. Went and then after time I got shortlisted and I was away to Manchester and auditioned. It was
So whenever you reached the finals of it, did you stay out in England then for
Yes.
those last few weeks?
so we stayed in because I was from here, Northern Ireland. They had brought me over and made me stay in a hotel for the whole time.
Right.
So they brought me over like the week before I was meant to be on. I was down at that show every night, meeting everybody.
Aye.
Ollie Murs, their man Sai up in Gangnam Style, mate.
Aye.
And then on the final, it was Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran. And nobody told me until I got through to the final, because they obviously knew I was a big Ed Sheeran fan.
Mm.
And then they were like, oh, Ed Sheeran's playing the final with Taylor Swift. And I was like, oh.
That's right, I
They
mind that now.
They spent
And
so much time with me, it was great.
you were literally 18,
Aye.
loving the dream then.
I was sitting drinking beers with Ed Sheeran behind the scenes.
Oh my God. And you sung with him then, did you not at the end?
I did a video with him. It was great crack.
So when you when it ended, who
Yes.
won that year?
They were called Attraction. They did like,
Where are they?
where's anybody? Where am I?
Where are they?
Where have I been the last 10 years?
I know you love hearing all, but where are they?
I know, no, hey, do you know what? Them shows are they're very odd, do you know what I mean? It's like, you'll see so much talent come through,
Aye.
but if you don't take initiative and do something about it, like
Aye.
I sat back and just wanted to do gigs and make money and spend me nights in Sugar nightclub,
God.
and then they were great, but and you know, and look where it got me. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now
Aye.
I'm like 30 and I'm trying to get out there again, and like, it's not to say that I'm too late, because it's
You're so young.
100%.
You're still so young.
100%. And that's not to say like if anybody ever was to stop for a while and try and get back at it. Like what I'm doing now, it's working more than it ever did, and it's going
Aye.
well.
Going back, sorry, to when you ended with Britain's Got Talent,
Aye.
talk about the weeks and the months after that. What was life like for you coming from that big high?
Oh,
Was it a low, or was it like a small
biggest
drop
low
down,
you'll
or
ever get in your life.
biggest low ever?
That's why alcohol was such a clutch.
Mm.
So you imagine, right? The whole whirlwind of like, my edition was like 16 million views on YouTube, but there was like 15 million people watching you on the weekly basis whenever you were on. And you're living in London, you're running around, Ollie Murs, and you're like become friends with these people and meeting Ed Sheeran. It's like, this is amazing, this is class.
And
then the
everybody
final-
else is probably drinking and stuff as well, so you think it's alright.
The drinking wasn't a problem then. The drinking
Right.
actually wasn't a problem then. Before that, drinking would have been... It wasn't a problem at that time, but whenever I came home, like I remember just sitting in my home, in the house with the curtains closed, it was such a downer, like,
Aye.
because you were living, like, the life was amazing. You know, at that
And
time it
again,
was all
aye.
buzzy and go, and I loved it. And I just came home, and that was it. I was sitting in the house, and I had a flat of my own, so I wasn't even home with my mum and dad or nothing, it was just me and my own.
Right.
Just sitting playing FIFA, and it was depressing. Then I got a call to go and do a tour, and that was great again, you know, just to get back out there. But thinking back on it, you know, I think if they had managed it a lot better, because they do that now with people, I think.
Aye,
If you have problems or mental health problems,
stuff, aye.
they give you support, whereas back then there was none of that.
Just kind of threw you away and you had to fend for yourself.
I was told by Simon Coyle's, one of the guys who does management for him, Tim Byrne, who looked after One Direction,
right,
was like, we're going to look after Jordan and get him to the place where he needs to be. Never heard from him after.
But did you not sign? Wait.
I signed with Warner Bros. In 2017.
Right, okay.
So that was many years after, which was a shock because like we had all thought that was never going to happen. Like, and then just I did a tour one time around England and I met a guy who ended up working for Warner or working for a management company who supplied talent to Warner. And he called me one day and was like, do you want to come over to London and see if this is going to work? And I came over and ended up getting signed in.
So what did that look like for you? Did you have your own album? No.
I got signed to a 5-year deal, which was an album every year.
Okay.
And I did a full album, but it didn't work out.
Right, in what way?
Well, the record, that music business is very, very... To be fair, it was probably my fault. Like, they expected me to do a lot on social media, so my way of thinking, being naive and stupid, was, they've signed me, they're going to turn me into a big star.
Aye.
So
that you don't really need to do any work, you can just sit there and everybody will...
I was getting paid $2,500 a month.
Aye.
And I was drinking it and pissing it up the wall. Like,
right. But you had to show them the work then at the end of it. That's what you probably forgot about, was it?
Well, no, they wanted me to build myself on social media.
Right. Also, they were giving you this payment regardless?
Well, it's called an advance, so they would say, look,
right, okay.
This is your advance whenever you get signed. It's almost like a wage.
Yeah.
So, but once you start making money back, you have to pay that advance back.
Oh, right.
So, basically what they were saying was, here's part of the loan or your wage for you to keep building your socials, live your life, but do music. And then once your album comes out, we'll deduct that from it. So say if the album made $300,000, which would be awful by the way, but say if that was the case, then they would deduct fees from the label, fees from management, and then you'd have to pay back your loan.
Right, okay.
So that's why sometimes labels completely ruin you.
Aye.
And it's very, very difficult. That's why you have to build yourself before you go on.
And go independent as well.
A lot of people would build themselves, like a Macklemore as an example. He built himself so high. I still think he doesn't have a label, because you take all the money home yourself.
Aye.
What's the point in giving someone 20% whenever you can do it yourself?
See, this is the part that the general public don't know about, or they don't care about. They just see a star and they see someone doing well for themselves and they think, on singing, they're making millions.
Aye. No,
and it's not
don't get me wrong. If you're smart about it, like there's definitely ways that you can make money. But I say nowadays, like if you think about it now, you've got TikTok and you've got Instagram, you've got merch sales. If you're doing all that yourself, you can be making a bomb. Like, but if someone snaps you up early, like it's so mad because of my TikTok starting to rise quickly in the last like 2 weeks. It's went up since nearly 10,000 followers in a couple of 3 weeks.
That's amazing.
Which is nuts. But I've had phone calls from people in Germany. Oh, we want to sign you to something.
No way.
Swear to God, and it's like...
I love your German accent.
That's terrible. You don't want to hear me. I'm joking. We want to...
I know what you're thinking.
I was like, Steve, I think, he was all, we want to sign you this thing. And then he phoned me yesterday, and we had a talk on the phone, and I was like, it's not for me. And then he was pushing me the day, phoning me and ringing me and stuff. And
that's so good though that you're having these options just by posting on
100%, but I think they're looking to get in now.
And swap you up.
But also probably say maybe a pure crap deal. So then if the money was to ever, if it was ever to take off and the money was to roll, then they would...
Well, you're 30 now, you started this when you're 18, you know a good bit about...
100%, that's right.
You know the and behind, so it didn't work out for you when you were 18. Maybe looking back now in hindsight, it wasn't supposed to work out for you when you were 18.
100%.
Because you I know you said earlier, like I'm 30 now. Yeah. 30 is so young.
Yeah.
Like, so young.
And everyone's different, so like for you, if you were to take off at 18, you would probably take it under your... No, not saying that I know, but for example, you could take it in your stride. Whereas I was the type of person when I was 18 that it went straight to my head.
Right.
And I couldn't control the feelings and the emotions and whatever. Whereas a lot of people can. Yeah. So for me, it wasn't meant to work out like that. Because if it was, I'd probably be dead. Yeah. You know what I mean? I probably would have ended up there because I wouldn't been able to control what was going on. Whereas now I'm at a place where I don't drink. I've got really control over my life. I've no real problems I don't owe anybody any money. You know what I mean? I'm not running around constantly in fear or anxiety. So I'm in control.
Yeah.
And the only person that can do it now is me. So that's why I feel like it's starting to get into that phase of, it's good. Family life's a lot better, thank God.
Amazing.
Obviously, when you're drinking and partying all the time, it's not going to be so.
No, it doesn't really go hand in hand, partying and trying to have a family and a marriage and stuff.
It does not.
But so you touched on alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that you were addicted to alcohol then?
Alcohol and drugs, yeah.
Right, okay. And what age did that start at?
I was wrong about a lot of older people.
What age did it start becoming a big problem even?
Well, obviously, I think everyone started drinking over on the streets and stuff when they were younger. It was never a problem then.
That was drinking on the streets is always the problem.
Best days. They were. I watched the interview with Tom Hardy the other day, and he said, Jonathan Ross was asking him, "Can you talk about how would a night with you on the drink start, finish, and end, or start, middle, and end?" And he says, "Well, it depends what you want to know about the good days or the bad days."
Aye.
And the good days is when it starts, but you don't realise that you have a problem.
Right.
Then it gets into the dark days. So it started with me whenever I was about 16, probably. 15 maybe. Right. I don't know. Whatever age we were running around St. Thomas Park and whatnot. And I was just running around drinking. The crack was good. It was like more summertime than anything else because obviously everyone's off for school and like a bottle of Frosty Jacks down to St. Thomas Park and a bit of crack.
Lovely. Did you notice that your alcohol became more of a crutch for you when you came back then from Britain's Got Talent, do you think? Did you dump in any feelings?
I never had any idea.
About
that I had a problem.
Right, okay.
I never thought I had a problem. I thought I was enjoying my life. I thought I was...
You thought you were in control?
I just never thought, like, I'm fine. I'm not worried about nothing.
So what did alcohol addiction look like for you? Was it every night? Was it days on end?
Depends what stage.
Oh, really? Right, so it started...
Started out just a bit of crack.
Right.
It started out, I did take drugs quite young.
You did?
I started with older, friends. And they were taking it, and then I ended up taking it with them one night, and then it ended up going from coke to monkey madness, as it was called, and then, I got hooked on it at quite a young age. And I remember my friends, like my friends at my age were like, "What are you at, taking that stuff?" And I got really hooked on it. Like, I couldn't go out drinking with them. I was like, I can't drink without it and all. And then I got off that. I didn't take it then for a while. And that's when I went on Britain's Got Talent. And then I can't really pinpoint when it all sort of went downhill, but I think over a period of time, I did get into drugs again, and I was getting lonely, and it was just one of them things.
So you never were really using alcohol to dampen any feelings? This was like an all the time kind of thing?
I didn't feel like it at the time, but I tried to kill myself at one stage. So
right, okay. What happened then? What age was
that? That was not long after Britain's Got Talent. So
right.
Actually, this is the first time I ever talked about this in the podcast.
Right, okay.
So what had happened was I came off the show and I was living in a flat of my own, but I was running around with a friend who I met in Belfast who was going to uni in Derry. So I was out with them all the time, like drinking every night. When in the night they were out, I was out, but I was probably the one being like, "Are we going out tonight?" Because I had nothing else to do with my time.
Aye.
And I was going out and doing gigs here and there, but my main thing was drinking all the time. And then I started taking drugs, and I don't know if it was like ecstasy tablets or whatever it might have been. But one night I came back and this friend who was like bringing a girl around to the flat, and I think she was like interested in me, but I was just that far gone. Like I set up my speakers and all in the living room and got my loop pedal out and all and started playing there, and she was like,
she was coming to a concert. She was.
Are we swearing us?
Aye, say what you want, free speech.
Like, what the fuck is going on here? So she got up and left, and then that.
Oh, she wasn't. She didn't like the private concert, no?
Yeah, I was away with it. I was gone. And then she got up and left, and I was like, this is shit. So my friend left, and then that night, trying to eat paracetamol, I think it was.
Right, okay.
And text everybody, I was like, I'm done, can't do this anymore.
Why then, do you feel?
Because it was shit, you know what I mean? I was on TV to 15 million people there a month or two ago, and now I'm sitting here, just away with it, and there was nothing happening.
No.
And I started to get to a stage where, yes, we were doing gigs and making a lot of money, and it was great, but like the money wasn't. I wanted to be doing something more. And to be fair, like if I had caught myself on, I probably could have kept it going. But again, I think, as you said, we all need these things to happen to get where we're at. and I feel like I've learned so much from it all. Like, and I can see it now. Like I have I had a band in the studio today, recording with me, and you know they're Telly Zura, they're called,
Right.
and they're
Local as well. No?
they're a local band.
Oh,
They're
right.
great thing, sort of like Oasis. Like they're really really good. And they're just talking about like they were going out the night to Telegraph Building and the drinking scene and blah blah. And they were asking me about it, and that's good. They sort of, and even when I was talking, they were like really interested, and it's like hopefully I can give like a bit of myself back to the younger people and show them like because he was like to me, well, when you know when it's getting out of hand, and I'm like, well, you'll have to sort of figure that out. But
so you're like a mentor as well, kind of thing.
Well, I'm doing this thing on TikTok talking about addiction, and the goal is to hopefully do something in their area that's bigger than me and bigger than what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be something that's going to be like a centre or something. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. But the amount of people that's messaged me since I started doing it is scary. Like.
Well, thank you for sharing that vulnerable moment there now. I feel like when you talk about mental health, when I talk about mental health personally, I've always been a massive advocate for it because from when I was about 8, mine started. So I always try and detach the stigma from it. But when I talk about it as well, people talk back. But when I say, I was suicidal, I actively did try and end my life. I was at the bridge one night. 9 times out of 10, they would turn around and go, so did I. You kind of open up the space of people connecting and going, I was at that point that you were at as well. Maybe this is okay to feel like this. Maybe we can get past this kind of thing as well. So thank you so much for being vulnerable in that. I mean, people look at you. People look at other people and be like, they're amazing. They've had no what do they have to cry about? Everything as well. We're just normal people.
Everyone has a point. Like I said a couple weeks ago, it was like it's a moment in time. Just there could be a moment in time where I'm just sitting and I'm like I have to think back at the times I used to be hungover in the house all the time, like heaps of takeaways around me, 3 takeaways in like a space of like a couple of hours, and me lying just beat, hadn't showered in 2 days, and just. You're like, you think back and you're like, what a.
Was this when you were married?
Yeah.
You were doing this and she's still with you?
Yes.
She must have really loved you.
100%. Everyone says she loves me money, but I don't think that's true.
No, she has to love you. Like, do you know what I mean? So what way did becoming a daddy change you, if it did?
It did. It didn't.
How many?
I have 3 kids altogether. So Enrique is my stepson. I met Melina when Enrique was 1.5.
Okay, right.
So I've been his like a father figure to him since then, and he calls me dad, and it's great. And I call him son, and I treat him like a son. And he that was the beginning, but at that stage I was still a child myself. You know what I mean? And because Enrique wasn't my son, in a way, I didn't feel like I was the responsibility.
You felt like you could take it on.
I felt like I could just do whatever I wanted. You know what I mean? Because he has a dad, and his dad comes and sees him, and they have a relationship, and that's great. But for me, it was like I could just still go out and enjoy myself and whatever. And like me and Ricky still had a great times. But the other thing too is like Melina would have been, not to say that in any way it's her fault, but Melina would have just let me do whatever I wanted. Whereas sometimes if she had a bit of foot down, but then again I'm not headstrong. It's hard, It's hard, But to be fair to Melina, she stuck by me through everything, and like I was not easy to be around, but we had some great times, like, and I think that's why. But there was times I was like, oh Jesus, like ridiculous.
So
like you're not even the same. It's mad now that I'm like the person I am now sitting here is nowhere near. And the thing is too, you can't say, oh well, you're not a completely different person. The person that I was is still on here. But
I know what you're saying.
But bringing him out is not. It's not going to happen, like, because it was the alcohol and drugs that did that.
So, how many biological children? You have 2 biological. Did that change you in any way? Or did those patterns still continue? What age are they?
They're 3 and 5.
Oh, they're quite young too.
Yeah. Which is great because now I'm at a stage where I'm witnessing everything. It's great. And it's emotional times because you start to think, thank God I am sober. Do you witness this? With no, I would like to say that it did. I would like to say that, it changed. It didn't. Because when you're an addict, the only thing you hear about is yourself and the thing that makes you feel good, which was drugs and drink. So for me, it was like I always loved the high that the alcohol, and it's weird too. I didn't even like I used to get nervous, like anxiety. I wouldn't eat before I go drinking because I didn't want anything to upset the stomach. But I would then get like nervous before going out.
Right.
Then I would sip a couple of pints. I wouldn't really have much chatter to me. Then a couple of pints and I wouldn't shut up. Then I go on the vodka, and then once I started to get drunk, and I couldn't keep myself sort of straight, I'd have to take drugs to sort of straighten myself out, just to keep the party going. Because once I felt good, I didn't want it to end.
Aye.
Like I remember some people would be like 7 in the morning, we're going home, and I'm like, what do you mean you're going home?
The party's just starting.
Party's
7 in the morning.
not ending now. We've got a couple of hours left here.
I would kind of be like that in a way. I don't drink often. I probably drink about 4 times a year, and this is why.
When you're doing a business like what you're doing, it's difficult.
I can't.
Exactly.
My hangovers last the rest of the year, but I get really bad social anxiety as well.
Yep.
So while I'm getting ready, I'll have a shot.
Right.
Like just a shot of whatever's on my fridge. Then when I go to like one of my sisters, I ask for just a shot. Like so a shot, like it's just to get rid of this anxiety. And then when I go out then, I'm only out for an hour and then I'm back home. And it was just all this anxiety for nothing.
You're thinking like, what is it, like what's the worth in it like?
There's no worth for me personally, because I'd be completely hungover because I must have drank about 10 shots. Didn't eat. And then I'm on my arse then all week, not being a proper mommy, not being a proper businesswoman. And then that was probably rubbing off on your personal life then. You were gigging, you still gig in the time?
No, I've stopped it.
Because of the culture around the drinking?
Sort of that, and sort of like, I want to spend more time with my kids. Do you know what I mean?
It would be so hard as well to keep that going with alcohol all around you. No one like you might say,
do you know what? It's mad. Like, I don't even think about drinking. It's not the drink that I think about, or the thought of it actually makes me sick. I enjoy I'll enjoy a Guinness Zero. Like I'd have 2 or 3 and then that's enough for me. Like, well, it was the same when I was drinking beer. I can only have 2 or 3 and then I go on vodka, but I don't even like drinking. Like I wouldn't drink whiskey or I wouldn't drink anything like that. It would be like a double vodka with blackcurrant water. It had to be something sweet. It wouldn't be like, so like I didn't even enjoy drinking. So for me, I was just always looking for the next high, the next high, the next high.
So when you said that you didn't know that it was an issue for you, when did you know? Did someone say, your wife, your family? What way did it look like?
Well, whenever you're going to try and kill yourself, I think you sort of realise it. But I never thought it was a drink.
So this was going back to your flat?
Yeah. And to be honest, actually, it's never addictions don't come out because of the drink. Like, I'm addicted now to making TikToks. I'm addicted to trying to make a business. I'm constantly always looking at how well it's doing. That's an addiction because you're literally just constantly.
You have an addictive personality.
So you'll always change it to something else. I'm just not drinking now, but the problems were inside me. That's why I drank. That's why I'm an addict, because of I don't want to sit with myself.
Right.
So, I don't want to sit with my thoughts. I don't want to think about the things that happened to me when I was younger.
Yeah.
So I'll just go and sit on my phone and scroll all day.
Aye.
And that's what happens. And like, people are addicted to their phones. Like I'm addicted to my phone.
Aye.
And hopefully in time I can stop it. But for right now, it's something that I have to be.
But when you work, the way you're working at the minute, you have to be on your phone all the time.
Yes, exactly. To build businesses, you have to be constantly at it. And I don't mind it right now, but Melina sometimes would say like, "Oh, you're constantly on your phone."
I know. To the other people looking, it looks like we're scrolling, but we're not.
Well, the brain, like you probably would understand this. The brain works in a way like. Melina would say to me like sometimes, "Wait, can you not just put a watch on?" And I'm like, "But I'm just constantly thinking about the next thing that's happening."
No, I agree with her. Get the wash on.
Oh no, 100%, no, 100% that. But what I mean is, so like Melina wouldn't work Tuesday to Sunday. She just does 1 day a week,
right?
And then I would try and do the rest of it. So like it's always the next point's coming from my direction. Does that make sense? So whenever I'm sitting, I'm constantly thinking about what's next.
Why.
And what I mean is like the wash doesn't even come into my head. Like, does that make sense?
100%.
So like we have a whiteboard now in the kitchen, so we'll write down chores of like who's doing what, so we understand what's happening. Because if you don't, there are arguments happen all the time. Like, well, why didn't you do that? Well, why you didn't do it? Then it's like, well, if we write it down on the whiteboard, we know what we're doing tomorrow, and that's it. And it works a lot. So like, even stuff like that, we would never done that whenever I was drinking.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't have been interested either.
No, I wouldn't even have do it more thing.
I remember when me and Dannon went to Lanzarote. Me and my wee boy went to Lanzarote there in August or July past, and he was like playing in the pool and whatever, and I was on my phone, but I was working. And he come up out of the water and he's like, I'm calling you, you're lying on your phone. And everyone was looking at me and I was like, I'm working. I'm not just lying on my phone. How do you think I afforded this holiday? And then I went on the one, I was like, right, Jenny's 8. I was like, I have come over and look at mommy's phone. Look what I am doing. And he's like, what's that? And I'm like, this is the website. I'm trying to sell products so that I can enjoy the rest of my holiday. But this is the way business brains work. But we are lucky as well that we can do it on this platform.
When you run your own business, it's very, very difficult because you say you're engrossed in it all the time.
All the time.
And it's hard to find a switch off. Like even if like I went on holidays, I still know I'd be checking. And
aye.
But it's an addiction. It's to get away from workaholics. It's like, it's another thing. It's just getting away from. But it's better than drinking and taking drugs.
Well, I am a self-confessed workaholic now, but I actually do love what I do. But you're right, it does take away stuff that's happening outside, because there is stuff happening outside. And then when I first started my business, I was working 16-hour shifts. And when I look back now, I'd be like, how did I do that? Yeah. Well, I remember how I done that because I was in a marriage that I didn't want to be in. So being in my work meant that I was away from that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I was loving it then. I was free to do what I wanted for hours on end. No one annoy me, no one torture me. Yeah. But again, that's just running from the problem instead of facing it head on.
100%.
So you spoke about causing arguments between you and your wife. Did you have to go to marriage counselling, or is that something that you...
100%.
Oh, you did?
Our relationship ended like I don't really want to talk about too much about that on here, but
only what you feel comfortable
100%. Like it was all my doing, but you know, alcohol and drugs make you I was always looking at the negatives. You know, I'm working. Our relationship was that I worked and Lynn looked after the house. Well, that's the way that I thought it was, and that doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? She needs to have her own thing in life where she feels herself, and she's getting that now with doing TikTok and doing she does earrings, and like we're trying to build her own wee side of business, and so she can do things herself. But it was like I didn't want to be with her because, again, probably I made the situation like that, but I didn't want to be with her, and I decided that I wanted to leave the relationship.
Right. This was after marriage or before?
Oh, this is after marriage.
Oh, after. Right.
And this had happened twice before, like.
Right.
But again, it always stemmed around whenever I would always go through a period throughout the year of being working hard and making money, and then drinking hard and spending it.
Okay.
So there was always a period, and it always came like after summer, where I would just go heavy at it. And still, even now, like I'll still have moments where I'm like really switched on, and I'm training and I'm on point and whatever, and then there'll be times I'm just eating anything. Because my like an addiction I would be eating, stress eating.
Do you know people used to laugh when I say I was addicted to food?
Yeah, you can be.
But I 100%
because it makes you feel good whenever you eat it, and makes you feel good. You're like, oh, this is great. You get that wee cozy feeling, and that's it's called a dopamine. Obviously, you know a dopamine hit. So dopamine is anything like. Whenever I started doing ice baths, everyone was laughing at me, going, "Look at him on an ice bath." But it was teaching me discipline. But it was also giving me such like. There's days I would jump on there, and I'll close my eyes when I'm in, and I see whenever I open them. If the rain's pushing down and the sky is grey, I'll be like, "What a beautiful day! This is amazing."
So you're like, I'm changed.
And then days when like I haven't done one today, and I am exhausted. I'm just run down, don't want to do nothing, and it's just that's.
Do you still do that most mornings?
Still try to, It's difficult, like especially when it's freezing like that. There was times there was a period, right? So after Christmas, I was like, right, I'm gonna get back at it, gonna get on it. I was getting up, and I have like a wee rope thing, stuck it on, and I would stand at the ice bath like this, looking at it, going, and there was music playing, and I just go, I'll come back later, and I would never do it. So one morning I got up, boxers on, just stood at the door and jumped.
No thinking about it, just
jump straight on, and you're sitting there like, but it's.
I've never tried it. I think I would have a heart attack and die.
It's amazing.
It was my idea of hell.
It's like taking a drug because it gives you such a dopamine up.
Aye.
And it lasts forever, and not forever, but it lasts for hours. Like.
Aye.
Sometimes I was doing it twice a day. Like it was that good.
That would be my idea. That would be punishment for me. That would be my punishment.
That's almost what it is. You punish yourself for 3 minutes a day. They love the rest of the hours sweet. Like.
I might give it a go. But
definitely.
Maybe not this year though. Maybe next year, 2020.
Well, that's one of the things that I would love to use for if we were ever to do something with recovery.
Yeah.
I would like to get people on and use cold water therapy as a way of. It's not even just the discipline of going right. I need to get on here and teaching your mind, because right now I'm not disciplined.
Right.
Like tonight, like I'm eating clean, but I said to Lena, we'll just get a takeaway when I come home, right?
It's Friday.
But I'm knackered too. Whereas if I'd been the ice bath, I'd probably been buzzing, and we're gonna go home and just watch a movie and chill. Whereas like I'm putting myself under pressure to like TikTok lives and all.
I know
I'm
what
just
you mean. I know.
No, just go and enjoy your night.
That's a good thing about having your own platform as well, is that you decide what to do, when
Whereas
to
if
do
I had
it.
been gigging, I'd have been leaving here now and I'm going to have to go on and gig and
That whole life there as well, like out at that time of night, especially when you're my
Out-
age, like you're
out
a
at that
good
time
bit
of night,
younger.
especially with your kids, out at that time of night, finishing late, and then when you finish, the thing is about TikTok too as well. When I finish a live stream, I don't have like this buzz. Whereas whenever I'd be out in the bar, it'd be buzzing around you and everyone's drinking, the crack's mad. You're like, you come home, you can't settle, your mind's going crazy.
Aye.
Whereas whenever I do that, I just come in the house and sit down and watch
That's
the
so
game.
good.
It's
So
great,
is that
like.
the way it works for you? You go live? I must actually get a look on
I've made
TikTok.
30 quid already.
That's so good.
Buzzing.
I've made 0, so there you go.
I have really.
No, I don't really go on. I'm afraid of that. You're going to teach me now though before you go.
I go on and talk about you could start selling that there on TikTok.
The plant?
No. No, your sense, yeah, man. The plant,
I know I'm a good businesswoman, but Jesus Christ, plants
the
is
sense,
a
you
bit too
could
far.
sell your sense on TikTok shop.
So many people have told me about that.
You'd make a fortune. Do you know there's people actually going on now to build their profiles and they just sell stuff on TikTok shop and they're making like, people are saying they're making like 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month.
So I did have a wee look.
You can ship from here, can you?
I ship by.
Well, there you go.
I know, I need to look into it properly. Go and help me after this, will you?
That's an odd job. I don't need any
No,
more
job
jobs.
me. I know. Take your ice bath
No, I
tomorrow and
won't.
then come to me tomorrow.
Aye, I'll take an ice bath. I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be on the show.
Sorry, I want to bring it back
Right.
because we didn't answer the question properly the
Yeah.
way my nosiness wants it to be answered.
Yep.
The marriage counselling, you went to marriage counselling?
Yes, so short of the story, I spoke with Melina and I asked her to move out. So we got a lot arranged and something had happened in between that and whenever Melina moved out, I always wanted to get back, but I felt like we needed time apart to understand who we both were. And
See, the thing about relationships, sorry to interrupt
no,
you
you're
there,
fine.
long-term relationships, you are supposed to change
100%.
as a person as well.
Yeah.
I think personally, time apart's needed.
Yeah.
If I was to ever be with anyone again, which is
Yeah.
highly unlikely,
Yeah.
then I would like us to live separate because you
Yeah.
need your own space.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you finally found who you are as a person, loving what you do, your own pace as well, you need it.
Everyone's different. I do like having that companion, and that's why Melina why I love Melina so much was because whenever we were good, we're great. Like, and what's mad is like us doing this TikTok thing. The two of us are doing more things for each other. It's like you start thinking about, well, why don't we do this together? And we're doing stuff with Enrique, and it's making our relationship better. Whereas before we would sort of been sitting on our phones doing nothing. Or I'd
Do you
been
mean
working.
do things to post? Is this what you mean?
Aye,
Post
so like
more
we'll say,
family things on there
we'll
as
start
well?
thinking of things to do.
Right.
And the thing is, like I said here, I watch something that says if you want to become something, start doing it before it actually happens.
Right.
So if you want to become a content creator, man, start doing it beforehand.
Yeah.
So like, the goal is to try and just see what happens with it. But we're starting to like think outside the box and go, well, we'll do this or we'll do that. But anyway, we split up and we moved away or moved out from each other, and Melina, Melina would get depression quite a lot. And I've always been trying to figure it out, but it's been difficult because I don't think she understands fully what's happening, and she's starting to do her own counselling. And
Okay.
but we went to marriage counselling because there was a lot of things that needed to be sorted out, and it took a long time. Like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't as if we just got back together and everything was sweet.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hurt from both sides. It wasn't just, and even though I was an asshole when I was drinking and abusing, it was, and I did a lot of stupid shit. I still feel like there was a lot on both sides, and there still is. Because I've made this massive change, from the person that I was. And even sometimes Melina will say things, I'm like, when I'm not
that person,
like that person, she'll stop speaking to me like I am.
Aye.
And then she'll click. And sometimes I would have said things when I was drinking, and I would have said them in a way to wind her up or whatever.
Right.
Whereas whenever I say it now, she takes it still in a way that I would have said it back then, if that makes sense.
Aye, you're both learning each other all
Learning
over
each
again.
other. I mean, she is trying her best. Like, obviously being a mother, I think since she had the two kids, she's had a bit of depression since then, and
your life changed. Obviously, speaking as a mother and a woman as well, your life changes massively. Like for the man, it doesn't really. We carried the baby for 9 months. You're going out to work, forgetting that we are even pregnant.
100%.
And then our whole lives have to change. Our work
Yeah.
then has to change around the baby and whatever, whereas the men can go and do whatever they want. Some
Aye.
men
And
take the
Lena was-
mother's role, but in most cases it's
That's
the,
all Lena would ever says. You just get to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And that was true. Like whenever I was drinking, now I barely leave the house. Like, and I still get told that I can do whatever I want. But not as much. But you know, a relationship is. I always thought like the grass was always greener.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think everyone gets that kind of.
Aye, but
feeling.
obviously if you water it, like you know, that's what we've been doing. And don't get me wrong, like we've had moments. I actually joke. We were sitting and we go to church on a Sunday.
Right.
And we were sitting and the guy was talking, and I just went over and I said, you know what? I said, they're coming up to years, so we haven't split up once. And she was just like, I know, and it's fun because we would have always been on and off and on and off, but that was to do with my doing by drinking and drugs and just going. You know, sometimes when we argue now, we'll come back to it in half an hour,
right, and
we'll sit down and we'll really talk through it.
Is that something that you've learned through marriage counselling, or is that just something that came natural?
Well, I could never. I'm a very good talker, and I can do that with Melina. I can sit down and talk there, whereas before I wouldn't have done it.
Right.
My temper was such a short fuse. I got it through there, and I went to the bar, and I went to just to drinking, and we would never got it resolved. Whereas now I can sit and talk, and don't get me wrong, sometimes it's longer than others, and sometimes it's shorter than others. But we're in such a far better position, and like we don't even have we can't leave the country, can go on holidays. She's no visa.
Oh, right.
So we've nothing really to look forward to.
Okay, right.
So we've a lot to look, but we do have things to look forward to because once it gets sorted, we can go and do things with our own life, and it's going to be an exciting couple of years, and
So the
marriage counsel. I know I keep dancing on the subject. I'm a wild talker.
I'm wild to hear.
I know. So we went to marriage counsel. We went to a very, very good marriage counsellor, and there was obviously a lot of anger again from both sides. I think I had a lot of making up to do for the way I treated Melina, because obviously it was our house and I put her out.
Yeah.
Which is not nice.
What do you mean?
Well, I'd said to her it was our house, and I told her to move out.
Right.
Which wasn't nice, you know, when she was like, well, you know, it was our house and you treated me like this, and completely understandable. I know it's mad. I got my jaw broke, and that's when I got sober. And the 4 weeks afterwards, I just kept going, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah.
And I'm pushing my whole family. I'm losing my wife. I'm losing this and losing that. And then there was a part of me then, whenever, you know, she moved out, I was thinking, well, you know what, I'm free, I'm single, and all this. That was
not all it's cracked up to be.
It was shite. I just, you know, it wasn't for me. It's not for me.
But do you not feel as well, social media has a really negative impact on relationships? You can literally lift your phone now, type in anyone you want,
and they all look so happy and perfect.
Not only that, but you can message them.
Oh yeah.
And be like, hey, and then that
100%.
shows connected then,
100%.
and they could be married, and you could literally be in contact with whoever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah.
You're scrolling through Instagram.
Yeah.
And even me, when I see some girls, I'll be like, wow, look, she's unreal. Why don't I look like that? But they don't even look like that.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why we started a TikTok too, was to show people real
life. Aye.
Because we don't want to be sitting on pretending we're perfect. And I think there's so many people that do that.
And that's where the lines get crossed.
Aye, it's not even, it's just I think a lot of people are in it for their own gain too. It's look at us, look how great we are, when it's but we know, you're not perfect.
Aye.
And that's what it's about. But you're right, you can go on and look at the perfect couple, you can go on and look at the perfect person, you can go on and look at men standing with six packs and whatever, and it's you start thinking about there's times I go on and look at our singers and I'm like, wait, they're doing so much better than me. Why are they, and you can get in your own headspace, and you just focus on yourself.
That's actually such a good point though, because when I went to marriage counselling with my ex-partner, it didn't work for me, because I was on my mind going, if I have to pay someone £60 to tell me to love my partner, then I don't love them. I just don't want to be there anymore, kind of thing. So then whenever we separated and I started my own counselling, then I was like, I'm just really angry that he's so happy. And she was, you keep mentioning he's so happy. What do you mean? And I go, well, my sister showed me a photo of him and his girlfriend and they look so happy. And she goes, Jenna, the week before you ended your marriage, I seen a photo of you and your husband so happy. And we were so unhappy for about 2 years. And that clicked at me. I go, oh my God, I'm a really good actress.
We were where was it we were there for? We were there for dinner last night, and we were late, and my dad was not happy. And I was thinking, we're going to be nice wee picture. But whenever the night started, I was like, we get a picture. And I'm like, no, we're not getting a picture now. Because I'm not putting the picture up going, look at us, like for dinner. And it wasn't like it.
That's hilarious.
And like, but I wouldn't want to do it like that.
Because that's true though. People, not all the time, most of the time.
No, there's times we took one on Christmas Day and it was so happy.
Aye.
It was my mum took it and it was, my mum was battling cancer and like it was just lovely day. The kids were in great form and everyone wanted to get a picture.
Aye.
Like my son's standing in a Sonic costume.
Aye.
You know, he's not all dressed up on Christmas Day. And it was
just shows you
natural.
the real.
And that's like, they're the beautiful moments. But no, we do, I think we compared ourselves to a lot of people on a lot of things and it shouldn't be the way.
No.
But
comparison is the thief of joy as well.
100%. And like I am a massive advocate. I look at singers like all the time and I'll be like, how did I get myself to that level? And it's just, all it is consistency. Because I know it's bad, I'm doing live, right, and people are coming in and they're going, like, I haven't seen you in years, where have you been? And it's like, I've been an addict, that's the problem.
A session.
Aye.
A session in the studio.
100%.
So, you already said at the start, on 30, like, more or less, you're over the hill, but
I know, I do this
so
all the time.
young.
Yeah.
Like, you're so young.
I think it's because I've been singing in a bar since I'm 16. I feel like I've loved and all.
And you've been through so much as well. Like
Exactly.
you've probably loved the life of 10 people the last 10 years. Kind of like me as well. But I feel like you have to get to that rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
No one around you, no one wanting to be with you, near you, associated with you.
Yep.
So you can get by yourself,
Yep.
back up to the top.
Whenever you recover from something like what I was going through, the drinking drugs, you become so lonely.
Yeah, you lose all the people, the hangers and the people that want to drink.
And not even that you lose, like there's some people that I still do miss hanging around with, but it was only with drinking. And the only opportunity I have is drinking. And it's like, you find new friends, but I'm actually just so happy on my own. I have friends that I go out and spend time with them, but I just love coming home to my kids and my wife.
That's such an amazing
I love it. And like
place that you're in now mentally.
I just love it. Now like the night I can't wait to get home and stick on the night agent. And sit and just eat food and watch. Like you know what's so mad, right? We'll sit and watch something on the TV and we'll be eating and I'll just look around and I'll be sitting and she'll just turn and go, I love you.
Oh, God.
Because she loves
That's so cute.
that moment, you know, of just eating food and watching something with her partner. Like, and I'm the
you're all
same. Like,
sniffing together and comfortable.
and the house, fire's on, it's just classic.
That's so, you're making me feel kind of lonely now.
No, don't be
I need something joking now. I don't need nobody, I'm grand. So what is your plan then for the next 5 years? Do you have a plan or what? Or do you know what
I wouldn't want to come on and tell you my plan because it would just,
I'd steal it.
It's ridiculous.
Well, that's good.
Aye. Oh, it's like, it's worldwide, like it's not going to be.
If you're already thinking about that, about something, then that's good.
Aye.
If it's not ridiculous, then it's not good enough.
Oh, it's like, it's so ridiculous. Like, if I was to tell you, you'd be like, that's madness, but.
Right, well, I'll not be able to tell you that, or you'll not be able to tell me yet.
No, I just don't. I've always felt like when you tell people what you're going to do, like the negativity that comes from it when they're
oh my God, 1,000,000%. See this
diminishes.
podcast? I've been working on this for a year, a full year. Yeah. And I only told my sisters last week about it. And that's why. Because I only wanted to concentrate on what I was doing. 100%. I had to do a lot of work on me.
My mum and dad would be the same. My mum and dad, although they're so supportive, they're so worried at times because of all the shit that's happened. When I tell them something, it's like, oh, Joe, we'll see how we get on.
Aye.
Like I said,
do you want to open yourself up for that kind of negativity again? That's what I would get a lot.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's them loving us as
100%. That's like, if I had kids too, I'd be worried about them.
But you can't sit in the house, Jordan, either, and hide from people. Like, if you don't go after what you want in life, then how are you going to grow? If we're going to sit in the house and hide from people's opinions and their negative comments, we're not living our life.
100%. 100%. And I think, like, with all the knowledge that I have now, like the positions I've got myself in before, it's not, and that was just through talent. If I put the hard work in now, with the talent, and I think I've got 10 times better as a musician, producer, singer,
more knowledge and everything.
100%.
Life experience, that's what you need in life.
So it's like it's just getting the positions again, but it just takes consistency and hard work.
So to finish off then, if you were to give someone one piece of advice, they're 18, what would that advice be? Every
day, just wake up and go, I need to work at my dream, just every single day.
Aye.
Get up and go. If that's what you want, if that's what you want your life to be, work towards it every single day. You can't take a day off.
No days off.
You can't take a day off.
No.
And if it's just even like sitting, just posting something or doing something. If you're a singer, I'm thinking of a musician's point of view because that's what I am.
Aye.
You know, it's just consistency. And even if you're having an off day, like I was so good at creating stuff for like a week, and then the last 2 days I'm like, I'm exhausted.
Aye.
But I've stuff in the bank. It's just consistency. Like I stuck up a post there yesterday, and they're like, I started off with like 100 and something likes, and I sent them in. And I was like, why is it not getting out there? And then I looked tonight, and it's nearly sitting at 10k views, and 500 likes, and it's. But at the start, you can easily get, drawn
sucked
back
under the likes and thinking people don't like it because it's so low and
100%. But it's just consistently posting. Just don't worry.
Aye.
And stick at it.
Not worry about what other people think.
Not worry about what other people think.
Chase your dreams.
I don't care anymore. Like people, I've got some like stupid comments too, and it's just like, what do you have with your time? Like, it's just move on.
So that's what I was going to actually. It was meant to ask, but we talked that much throughout it. So I'll go back to it. Negative comments.
When I was younger, it used to kill me.
How do you deal with them now? And then how did you deal with them when you were younger?
Don't give a fuck. It'll annoy me for like 10 minutes. It's ironic. I just got 10 minutes there. But it would annoy me for like 10, 15. It depends on the severity of it.
Aye.
Like, for example, Donald Campbell thing, FBA, it's a scam. Like, I've heard so much of that and like people going on about it.
Right.
But it's not a scam because if I succeeded, it wouldn't be a scam.
Right. Okay.
It would be. If I succeeded, it wouldn't be a scam. It would be a scam. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway,
you didn't succeed.
It
can't be as.
If I succeeded, sure, it's not a scam. Do you know what I mean? And I know loads of other people that have, but people can jump on a bandwagon. There's stuff online and going, it's a scam and it's not. But it's like somebody came on and was like messaging me, oh well, you should have. Just stupid messages, and you're just like, what are you doing with your time? Just move on, like leave me alone.
Have you ever met someone who was trolling you or anything or being negative? Who was face to face? That's not even the question I was going to ask, but people have been trolling you face to face as well.
Somebody used to troll me when I was younger, and I know exactly who it is, but like we've never talked about it. But it doesn't really. I'm still friends with that person. Like, doesn't bother.
Your friend trolled you?
Aye, but keep arm's length.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So have you ever come across anyone that has trolled you, but they were doing better than you, looked better than you, had a better life than you?
I don't think
you never will. You'll never find a hater who's doing better than you.
Not true.
That is fact.
100%.
I used to hate that, and I still know other.
Well, you might get someone that's doing better than you, but is worried about you rising up and beating them. I always think that's the case, but.
Jealous.
Aye, like whenever you see like a newcomer coming, and they're like. So, say if somebody's doing something and you're there and you see them when they're rising quick,
you'd be like, you'd be
going, geez, what? But for me, it's just like, no, I don't care anymore. I just don't, and it's just like, look, people say whatever they want to say and do whatever. And luckily, I haven't got many hate comments or recently. But obviously, the bigger it's going to get, the more it's going to come. But I think if you pay attention to it, you're going to just give them, fuel. Whereas I'm just not even bothered with it.
I always say as well, because my sisters always worry about me about negative comments and all again. I think they worry about it more than me. I actually don't care no more. Like, I don't think I'll ever be as low in my life as I was when I was going through all that. So I'm okay with it where I am.
Yep.
But our family do worry a lot. And
and I think, like, it's okay to worry, but, and again, sometimes you just have to just put the blinkers on and just go, right, okay. Like, my mum and dad would say things to me and I just don't even take it on anymore. It's just, I'm so focused on what I'm doing.
And some people don't understand.
No, they don't get it. And with the drive that I have on me now, it's nothing's going to stop it.
It's amazing to see you so good and back at yourself
100%.
And so level-headed, knowing what you want. I mean, you've come full circle, really.
Big time.
Full circle.
Big time. It's going to be exciting 10 years, I'd say.
Oh, 10? Because I only asked you 5, so I'm excited now to hear about the 10 years.
It'll be exciting 10 years.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure you will help so many people by what you've disclosed as well. Thank you so much again for being so vulnerable. I really appreciate that.
No bother.
So thank you.
No problem at all. Thanks very much.
Delighted. Thank you so much.
Maybe you'll have to come on my podcast.
Yes. What is the theme?